Welcome, everybody. John Zager. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's see. A little late today. 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock in the morning. Clear skies as I look out of the spaceship. And temperature is 69 degrees and I'm facing south. How is everybody? Good morning. I'm in my truck as usual. That's where I do my podcasts. And this morning I'm kind of running around. So we're going to attempt, don't know if it'll work or not. We're going to try it. I'm going to be driving as I'm doing my podcast. I have a really good podcast. I have always good podcasts. I don't know why there aren't thousands and thousands of people flocking to listen to my podcasts. But anyway, maybe in the future that'll happen. Can poverty, is poverty a mental health disorder or disease? I've heard it worded both ways. The second question is a little easier for you guys. Was for me. Can your thoughts create poverty? And of course, everybody jumps on the bandwagons and says, yes, of course it can. And absolutely, your thoughts can create poverty. Your thoughts can create disease, remember? Here's the other flip side to that. Your thoughts can get rid of disease. Your thoughts can also get rid of poverty. So we're going to go back and just retouch on a couple things, right? So when we're little peeps growing up, we're exposed to may. Always put may in there. Not always sure who I'm talking to. We may be around poverty. We may be around lack. We may be around, could be single parent, could be both parents, doesn't really matter. Employed, making little to no money, or unemployed, doesn't matter. Lack, poverty. Poor housing conditions, poor clothing, just generally bad conditions, right? So we hear, when we grow up in that sort of environment, and we're having modeled to us here's our life, I don't know, mom, dad, kids, whatever, and we're struggling financially. And we're taking matter and trying to change matter. And mom and dad are working 2 jobs apiece, and we still can't make it financially. We're bombarded with an attitude, may be bombarded with an attitude of life sucks. Rich people suck. The world is an ugly place. Don't expect it's going to get any better for you. We've never been successful. Nobody in this family's ever completed college degree or master's or PhD or whatever. Education won't get you money. Get your rear end out there and do some hard labor like the rest of us. Well, we can't afford those kinds of shoes just because they're a trend. I mean, it goes on and on. I guess I don't need to keep doing that. So, what happens, and again, this is just same stuff we've been talking about, just pertaining to poverty, right? We've been having this conversation in regards to disease. Well, poverty is a disease. It's progressive and it gets worse, right? Unless you're going to change it. So we end up with these belief systems that it's the way life is. You know? We don't know anybody who's has abundance and lots of money and a nice house. I see kids in school that have really cool shoes, but, you know, that's not me. I don't get that. We're just not exposed to a belief system that says there is no reason in the world you should have lack. Remember, this is interesting comment I'm going to make, but I don't know, 10 days ago or something, I did a podcast on, I think it was rich people, poor people, and nobody read it. I went back and looked at that podcast. Read it, listened to it. Nobody listened to it. Talk about arrogance. That is total arrogance out there. Would not listen to that podcast. Well, here I am talking about it again. If you grow up in a family that doesn't teach you, train you, empower you, inspire you, educate you, model for you abundance, you're not going to know how to make a dime. Honest to gosh, that's science. That's not John just yakking away to listen to himself yak. It's just science. If you take the little kid who's had all the opposite, all that stuff I just went through in regards to how to make money and be wealthy and be happy and be prosperous and all that, absolutely, that child will grow up and make money. Absolutely. Nobody wants to listen to that. That's called arrogance, by the way. That's called arrogance. Nobody wants to listen to that kind of conversation. People with, and now this is my own personal studies of, I don't know, hundreds of people that I have spoken with, talked to, interviewed, hung out with, I don't care what you want to call it, that are in a state of lack. I actually wrote a little short blog on this yesterday. They don't have any desire to get out of that. They like where they're at. They've learned to live according to their means. $20 a day. I interviewed a guy yesterday on a corner. He's kind of a newer guy in town, and I figured I'd stop and just say hello and see what he's doing. And I said, "What are you doing here?" And he said, "Well, I'm disabled." And I said, "You don't look disabled. What are you disabled from?" He said, "I fell off of a garage roof putting on a roof." I said, "Well, okay." He's got a bad shoulder. Never had it fixed, evidently. Whatever's wrong with it, which is in his head. And he said, didn't have workman's comp because it was a buddy of mine and myself were doing this side job on a weekend. And of course, we don't have any means to apply for workman's comp because we were just trying to make money on the side. I said, "That's it?" He says, "Well, I come from this town up north. I love it here in my town where I live. Boy, it's really nice here. This is so cool. I'm just happy to be here." "Really? You got a family?" "Yeah, man, I got 4 daughters. I'm so proud of my 4 daughters." And I said to him, excuse me for saying what I'm going to say, but I said to him, "Are your 4 daughters proud of you? Or are they embarrassed by what you're doing?" And he kind of got quiet, right? And I said, "I got lots of advice. And I'm going to offer you some advice. I don't care what you do with it. I don't care." And I says, here's what I would suggest. It's about time you get really, really angry and take your life back. So that's how pathetic it has gotten. And where I live, anyway, in the city where I live. And this guy has no right being out there than anybody, right? We've got guys now, dig this. Homeless people, well, I don't know if they're homeless, but claim they're homeless. Here's the deal. They're out on the corners dancing for money. Actually, I just drove by a couple minutes ago. I didn't say anything. I just drove by a corner, and there was 2 people there. One guy with a sign that looked like a book, and the other guy next to him doing this dance. Just going nuts with this dance. I don't know. I guess they believe that that's how you can make more money in the service industry that they're in. Everybody understands they're in the service industry. I hope we don't have to go back through that. If you want to go feel good, then go put some coins in that guy's whatever he's holding out, and you will feel good, and he'll receive money. It's a service industry, you guys. It's a business. The people doing it are too dumb to know they're in a service industry, but that's what they're in. When they do these dances and they get the dogs out and they hire some lady with a bunch of kids to stand next to them, they don't have the mental capacity to know what they're doing or why they're doing it, but it's a service industry, and they're trying to make more money. They're no different than anybody else working on Wall Street. Just the daily income is different. I asked this guy yesterday, I said, how much money do you make here each day? Oh, I do really well. I do really, really well. I probably make, I don't know, between $30 and $50 a day. I said, you make $30 to $50 a day sitting here with that stupid ass sign, sitting on the ground so that you are portraying yourself as unable to stand up. Works for me, $30 to $50 a day. Some days I make 60. I'm not giving up this spot. There you go. So, mental health disorder. Don't have to be a psychologist or a psychiatrist to figure that out. It's a mental health disorder. And absolutely inspired partly by the government, the economy, world politics, blatant lies and stuff that get carried out, on TV. The lack of truth and stuff. It just is sad. It's really, really sad to see that it drives some people that are not strong of character into emotional issues. That's the long and the short of it, you guys. Am I blaming it on all that other big-time stuff? No. People ultimately have the decision whether they're going to come out and be homeless, stay homeless, work on corners, But it doesn't inspire them to go get a regular job or a career. I don't know. It's sad. So the podcast today, the takeaway is pretty darn simple. It's just that poverty is taught to us when we're young, and we formulate beliefs, a belief system, beliefs, and perceptions about how our lives are going to turn out, become. And you grow up in poverty and lack, you're going to end up in poverty and lack. Go read the book, Rich People, Poor People. Fascinating read. And again, now that times have, values and morals and all of that stuff has gone down the drain, it's pretty well gone. America has deteriorated to the extent that we're not inspiring people, empowering people to think prosperous thoughts. The opposite is obviously true. I mean, if you just can block out, not listen to, or act out all of your lack, right, thoughts and actions, and put in prosperity, I am capable, I am a good person, I am smart, I am educated, I have a strong background to succeed, my root chakra, survival, is that I want to do better. If you start replacing lack with prosperity, God, do I even need to finish that comment, you guys? Prosperity is as far away as the thoughts you're having. You don't want disease, don't get angry. Science, evidence, research now says cancer is directly related to anger. I'm not making this stuff up. You guys pay me nothing out there for me to come up with this brilliant research. Think thoughts of lack, and you will have lack. Think thoughts of prosperity, and you will have prosperity. So there you are. Hope you all have a great day. God bless one another. Take care of each other. And I look forward to talking to you all again real soon. See you. Bye.